So, as has been reported, allegedly last week, 250 Maine absentee ballots were allegedly delivered to an unnamed individual in Newburgh, Maine, in her Amazon delivery box, obviously outside of the appropriate chain of custody. As soon as we became aware of that situation, I directed my Secretary of State's Law Enforcement Division to investigate. That division is working closely in collaboration with the Maine Office of Attorney General, with the support of Maine State Police, and in collaboration with federal law enforcement partners, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the U.S. Postal Service investigation team, to determine what happened. We have received regular updates on the progress of the investigation. I have full confidence that law enforcement will determine who is responsible, and any bad actor will be held accountable. We will not stop until we have answers. Again, I am limited in what I can share, but I do want to share some facts. On Tuesday, the city of Ellsworth received 2 boxes of absentee ballots, as planned. One of those boxes did not contain 5 packets of ballots totaling 250 ballots. They were missing. The Ellsworth clerk's office did exactly what we always instruct clerks to do. They notified the Elections Division of the missing ballots, initiating protocols that the Election Division always follows to reach out to our partners, including the printer and authorized carrier, to investigate what happened. Also on Tuesday, as publicly reported, an unnamed woman in Newburgh, Maine, allegedly received 5 packets of Maine absentee ballots in an Amazon box. The unnamed woman's legislator and a conservative blogger were contacted and notified of events, but at no point on Tuesday did anyone in Newburgh contact the Secretary of State's Elections Division or law enforcement. A conservative blogger emailed a staff person at the Secretary of State's office at 1:31 a.m. on Wednesday, noting that he would post online immediately. The Newburgh Town Office called the Elections Division at 8 a.m. promptly on Wednesday morning to report the ballots received. Secretary of State detectives went immediately to Newburgh, and ballots were secured. There are 2 things that I want to share with Mainers. All Maine absentee ballots have been carefully tracked. It is true that the number of ballots missing in Ellsworth corresponds to the number of ballots received in Newburgh. Ellsworth and Newburgh are 40 miles apart. At this point, there are 4 packages within the U.S. Postal Service system that have not yet arrived to small Maine towns to which they have been directed, but those particular very tiny towns do not have office hours until later in the week. We are working closely with the U.S. Postal Service to ensure that those 4 packages arrive on time. All other Maine towns have now received their expected ballot shipments. So that is really important for voters to recognize. All Maine towns have received their expected ballot shipments. So the process is safe and secure. Additionally, late Friday evening, our Elections Division was notified by a private organization that they believed that they were in possession of absentee return envelopes from Maine. This was an out-of-state private organization. I directed law enforcement to expand the investigation to include the delivery of absentee ballot return envelopes. However, today we can confirm that all Maine towns have received appropriate shipments of absentee return envelopes as planned. So the good news in all of this is that the system of checks and balances worked. Whatever happened last week, and we will find out what happened, will not impact our election. Law enforcement will find those responsible. Any bad actor involved will be punished. We are in a different world than we were just a few years ago. Our elections, and indeed our democracy, are under attack in new and different ways all of the time. Last year, it was white powder mailings and swatting of polling sites. And yet, Maine elections prevailed. We had more people turn out than ever before in our history. This year, it seems that there may have been attempts to interrupt the distribution of ballots and ballot materials. But we are stronger and better than anyone who tries to do our elections harm. Time and time again, election officials and law enforcement rise to meet the challenges we face. I'm proud of the hardworking elections staff, led by the nation's longest-serving elections director, Deputy Secretary Julie Flynn. I'm proud of the Maine city, town, and clerks who work tirelessly on the front lines of our democracy to run our elections. I'm grateful to our law enforcement partners at every level who are dedicated to finding the truth and running down anyone who would do us harm. And I'm proud of the Maine people who time and time again volunteer and vote to make us one of the best states in the nation in voter participation. Election officials are the world's best contingency planners. We will adapt, as we always do, to stay one step ahead of the bad actors who seek to interfere with our elections. Maine elections are free, safe, and secure, and I have confidence that this November we will once again lead the nation in safe and secure elections.